Hello my scholars, this is my school channel and my name is Abiola. For this video lesson, we are going to be going through the JAMB CBT past question for the subject biology that year 2010. Do not go anywhere, stay with us and we'll be right back. You're welcome back to my school YouTube channel, and for this video lesson we are going to solve questions 26 to 49. So let's start with question 26. The two halves of the pelvic girdle are joined together at the what? So they are joined together at the pubic symphysis. This actually keeps the two halves together and also keep these halves together doing the pelvic girdle generally doing activity. It keeps it steady. All right, when you talk about the ilium, this is the weight bearing part. All right, so just to support the body weight. Then we talk about the pubis. For the pubis, that's where the pubis symphysis, okay, that's where you actually find the main connector. All right, so we looked at the obturator foramen. This is just an opening, all right, for nerves and blood vessels to pass through. So this is what is connecting the two halves. This is the weight bearing part, and you can say pubis, pubic. All right, that's the derivation. Then we have this for nerves and blood passage. Okay, so correct option here is option A for the pubic symphysis. Number 27. Adoption of appropriate national habits, burrowing, adjusting their internal body temperature, possession of many sweat pores. Okay, so which of the above are ways in which desert animals adapt to extreme heat of the environment? Okay, so all of these actually look good for one or for an organism to be able to adapt to extreme heat of the environment, okay, especially in the desert setup. Okay, so we're talking about desert animals, but we should know this, that desert animals, the cold-blooded ones, do not have sweat pores, so they depend on the environment temperature to regulate their own body temperature. So since possession of many sweat pores is not applicable to all desert animals, so we can't apply IV. So since they can't do that, they cannot adjust their internal body temperature by themselves. Okay, so that means we strike out 3 and 4. So we are left with 1 and 2. So we are saying 1, adoption of appropriate national habit. That means they carry out the activity, they restrict the activity during the cooler part of the day, that is at night. Okay, so anything they want to do, they do it at night where the temperature is lower. Okay, so then look at burrowing, or they create tunnels where the temperature there as well is lower. So these are very good two things that can be applicable, okay, to most of these desert animals. So for the viability, okay, of this provision, so we are going to pick option I and I high. So where do we find that combination? We find that in option C. So option C is the most viable option. Question 28. Low annual rainfall, sparse vegetation, high diurnal temperatures, and cold nights are characteristic features of the desert. Okay, we know that these cold nights, you can actually trace this phenomenon to the fact that, at night the sun there radiates the heat, okay, into the air, and there is no sun, there's no sunlight to read these sand particles. So definitely you should have cold nights. So this is well attributed. In short, I should have very sparse vegetation, attributed to this. So this is, of course, for what we have in option B, the desert. So this is a good description of desert. The annual rainfall is less than 250 mm. All right, so the correct option is option B for the desert. 29. The activity of an organism which affects the survival of another organism in the same habitat constitutes what? Okay, so we're talking about ecosystem, the interaction between the abiotic and the biotic factors or components, if you want to put. So if you consider the edaphic, you're talking about the soil, the properties of the soil, physical, chemical, and whatever. So we have the abiotic factor, that is the non-living factors. Okay, right there you can see activities of organisms. All right, we are talking about living components, so that should be attributed to a biotic factor. Right, when you talk about the physiographic factor, you are talking about the appearance of land, when you talk about hills, rivers, mountains, valleys, and the like. So the correct option here is option C for a biotic factor. 30. The average number of individuals of a species per unit area of the habitat is the population density. Okay, population frequency, you're talking about, oh, how often do you find species, okay, in different sites in its habitat. So population size, you're talking about how large or how small the population is. Then population distribution, you know, you're talking about individuals of a particular setup, okay, are they existing in clumps or evenly or randomly, are they scattered, you know, that is what we're looking at in population distribution. So the concept you have described here is well allocated to population density. So option A is the correct option. 31. The vector for yellow fever is the Aedes mosquito, Anopheles mosquito, that is malaria, Cessus fly, we are talking about sleeping sickness, black fly, river blindness. So the correct option is option A for infected Aedes mosquito. Question 32. The loss of soil through erosion can be reduced by crop rotation. Other benefits of crop rotation include, you know, you are talking about improving the soil structure, you know, reducing pollution, improving the soil fertility, and even crop yield, you know, control of pests and diseases. So this is where allocated to crop rotation. When you talk about watering, already you have issues of erosion. So watering should be something that you should negate, you should remove, okay, from your application. Then manuring, I don't think it has any connection with controlling erosion. So it's going to be waste of funds and labor as well. So when we look at irrigation, you are trying to introduce water, okay, to a particular piece of land, okay, so that the plants there can get more water. So having the problem of erosion at hand and adding more water to it, no, that's something else. So definitely the loss of soil through erosion can be reduced, okay, it can be managed by applying or by using the method of crop rotation. So option B is the right option. 33. The protozoan Plasmodium falciparum is transmitted by what? Insects. Okay, that's from the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquito. So this, like we've seen earlier from the previous question, okay, the female Culex mosquito, you're talking about encephalitis, the Japanese encephalitis. Okay, then we talk about black fly, you know, I mentioned river blindness. Okay, so the correct option here is option A for the infected female Anopheles mosquito. So option A is the right option. 34. A dilute solution of phenyl thiocarbamide tastes bitter to some people and tasteless to others, and it's tasteless to others. So this is an example of a physiological or discontinuous variation. Other example like ability to roll the tongue. Okay, so that is the correct option here. That is option B. Morphological, you are talking about things like your size, color, fingerprint, and the like. So the correct option here, continuous variation, you know, you are looking at some disparity between two extremes, that you are tall or you are short. You can see that. Okay, so the correct option to this question is the ability to taste PTC is a very good example of discontinuous variation. So option B is the correct option. We encourage you to have a JAMB CBT simulated experience. All you just need to do is to click on the link in the description below. It's going to get you to the Myschool website. Right there you get to download the Myschool mobile app for your Android devices, or you can get the Myschool software for your laptops and your computers. So join me as we solve question 35. Thyroxine and adrenaline are examples of hormone which control what? Okay, they control behavioral patterns. Okay, so as well as thyroxine, adrenaline, sex hormone, okay, they are examples of hormones that are actually responsible for the control of behavioral patterns, even other ones like behavioral patterns like being intelligent or stupid, you know, being caring or uncaring, you know, being timid or brave, aggressive, non-aggressiveness, and the like. So this is well attributed to behavioral patterns. Okay, so you can see blood grouping, tongue rolling, ability to taste the PTC. I can put this together under physiological variations. Okay, so the correct option once again is option C for behavioral patterns. Please, we need you to always hit that like button. Also, do click on the subscribe button and always tap that bell notification for you to get alert immediately we upload the next video content. 36. A pair of genes that control a trait is referred to as an allele. Okay, so when you're talking about a contribution to an organism's phenotype, the outward appearance. That's what we are looking at. It can be dominant or some can be recessive. Okay, when you talk about hybrid, we are bringing together individuals that are genetically distinct so that you can get a better offspring or better results. Okay, maybe disease resistant, better, just a better result to put. Okay, so the correct option is option A and alien. 37. The chromosome number of a cell before, and after the process of meiosis is conventionally represented as what? So either we're talking about meiosis or mitosis, they both begin with a diploid parent, so that is 2N. All right, so take note of this. So before the process of meiosis, we have 2N. Then after the process of meiosis, what you get is haploid daughter cells, that is N. So that is from 2N to N. So the correct option is option D. 38. At what stage in the life history of a mammal is the sex of an individual set? Okay, so it's set from conception. This is because conception is actually, you're talking about that time, whereby the sperm travels, through the vagina into the uterus, then straight heading for the fallopian tube where it fertilizes an egg. And you're talking about sperm cell, we have the X and Y chromosome. The egg or the ovum is actually X and X. So it is what comes from the sperm, that will not determine the sex of the child. So if the sperm is giving out the X, it's mixed with the X, that we know we have XX on the female, right? So that is XX, that is a female child, that is female sex gender. Then if you are talking about the Y chromosome coming from the sperm, that means Y and X, XY, that is a male. So you can see right from conception we can determine the sex of an individual, especially in the history of a mammal. So the correct option is option D, at conception. Question 39. The main distinguishing features between the soldier termites and the other members of the caste are the what? So at first we know that soldiers' wings are absent, right? So I'm looking at option C. Possession of strong mandibles, powerful jaws, the mandibles and the maxilla. All right, and a large head. That is one of the distinct features about them. So this powerful jaws, it can actually be the combo of the strong mandibles and the maxilla, or it can even be of poisonous gland. So whichever way, it's just for defense, for attack, for the offensive. So the correct option is option C, the absence of wings, possession of strong mandibles, and a large head. So option C is the correct option. Question 40. The flippers of a whale and the fins of a fish are examples of what? So we should know that a whale is not a fish. So whales are considered as mammals, fishes, Pisces. All right, so that is, so we can see that those are two different kinds of categories. So the flippers of a whale and the fins of a fish are examples of not divergent evolution. In divergent evolution, talking about the same common ancestry, and there's a diversion. Like for instance, the Charles Darwin's and finches. So that is settled. Coevolution, you can notice this rapport between predators and prey. All right, then we talk about continuous variation. You're talking about variations like height, like your weight, and the like. So the correct option is option D for convergent evolution. Organisms from different ancestries, they now look similar, all right, because of the adaptation or because of the demands, of their environment, the similarity in their habitat and their environment. So if you look at the flippers of whale and the fins of a fish, they serve similar functions. So the correct option is option D for convergent evolution. 41. If both parents are heterozygous for a trait, the probability that an offspring will be recessive for that trait is what? So heterozygous means we are having two contrasting genes, right? So probably capital R and small r. So for there to be an exhibition of the recessive trait, that means you are taking a recessive gene, all right, from each parent. Or that means I'm having a small r and a small r coming together. So the probability of having two small r coming together, that will be actually 1 out of 4 in that crossing when we carry it out. So the correct option should be option C for 1/4. 42. Use the diagram above to answer this question. In which plantation are all the trees between the height of 2 to 4 meters? Between. Okay, so not on 2 or on 4 specifically. Between. So we are looking at which of these trees, okay, which plantation. So that should be plantation I. So you can see this is the height for 2 meters, this is height for 4 meters. So it is in between 2 and 4. So the correct option should be I. And that is found in option A. So option A is the correct option. 43. Use the diagram above to answer this question. Which of the following is a true feature of plantation 2? So we're looking at plantation 2. So what can we determine from here? We can see that it's sitting on the place, the spot marked 2 meters, right? And how many of the trees are around that 2 meters? We can see 20. So when you consider the percentage of the tree population, you can see we have 20, the height is 2. So definitely we can say that it has the highest number of trees. So we can see highest number of trees of about 2 meters high. So this is very correct. Highest number of trees with the height 2 meters. Okay, to be very specific. So the correct option is option A. If you look at B, it has the highest number of trees. Of course it does, but what about the height? It was exempted. It has the highest number of tall trees. Okay, you can see the height now. Okay, the heights. So you can see highest number of tall trees. You can see the height there. So what really works very well is what we are looking at here. Okay, it has the highest number of trees of about 2 meters high. So option A is the right option. 44. Use the diagram above to answer this question. Okay, so the movement of material in the xylem and the phloem tissues of the plant are represented by the arrows labeled words. So take note of the key term respectively. So let's indicate the movement of material in the xylem first, then we identify for the phloem next. So for the xylem, it's moving the xylem is responsible for conduction of materials like water and mineral salts from the roots, okay, through the stem to other parts of the tree. So we are looking at from the roots, okay, you can see that, then through the stem to other parts of the rest parts of the plants. Okay, so that's IV for the xylem. Then the phloem, conduction of manufactured food from the leaves to the rest parts of the plant. Okay, so you can see the arrows. So what is indicated with the arrow coming downwards? That is 3. That is IV, then I. So that is found in option A. You can see respectively. So option A is the correct option. 45. Use the diagram above to answer this question. So during photosynthesis, this arrow labeled I represents the what? Okay, so let's where's I we have it here. So take note of this. If photosynthesis was not specified, I would have gone for transpiration, water loss. Okay, but since we have this specification of photosynthesis, therefore during photosynthesis we know that plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. All right, in the absence of photosynthesis, just like every other living organism, takes in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. So doing photosynthesis, there is release of oxygen as a byproduct. So option D is the correct option. Please be reminded that you can ask those questions right now. All you just need to do is to click on the link in the description below. It's going to take you to the Myschool website. Right there you get to ask your questions, and our team of solution providers are going to help you out. So join me as I solve question 46. So use the diagram above to answer this question. The main function of the feather covering the part labeled high is to do what? So we can see we are looking at the region around the tibia. Okay, yeah, the tibia, okay, or the tibiofibula, whatever. But this should just basically be around the femur, the tibia. Okay, so what it should do, or what I think this should work for, is it should serve as insulator to actually maintain body heat. Yes, it's to maintain body heat. So that's the correct option. Option D, to serve as insulator to maintain body heat. In case you have better steps or solutions you'd like to share, we are so much interested. All you just need to do is to use that comment section below. Please indicate the question number and the solutions you'd like to share. 47. Use the diagram above to answer this question. Based on the shape and structure of the beak and feet, the bird represented is likely to feed mainly on flesh. So we can see the stronger, powerful, sharp beak. Okay, this is actually for killing and tearing flesh of its prey. Prey like your toad, your chicks, lizards, even snakes. Okay, so you can also see the feet. You can see the sharp claws, and it's for gripping. You can see it can grip its prey, even for killing as well, but basically for gripping. You can even see it's gripping on the tree branch there in the diagram. So this is basically for flesh. All right, this is a carnivorous bird. So the correct option is option A, for flesh. 48. Use the diagram above to answer this question. So with respect to their decreasing dependence on aquatic conditions for reproduction, so which of the following is the correct arrangement of the animals represented? So that is, if you look at with respect to decreasing dependence, so that is from the most dependent to the least dependent. So the most dependent here is of course fish. Okay, fishes, they need aquatic condition environment, okay, for reproduction. All right, this is a toad. All right, yeah, this is a toad, of course. It actually requires this kind of environment, but you can see the decreasing order. All right, then we are looking at a croc, probably a croc or an alligator. All right, so this should need soil. All right, so you can see that the dependence is actually decreasing. Then this is a rabbit. Okay, so we know rabbits give birth to their young alive. So the arrangement should be from IV to III to II to I. So whether we have that in option B. So option B is the right option. 49. In the diagram, which of the animals represent the oldest creatures in terms of evolutionary history? So the oldest. So the oldest means we are starting from the simplest to the most complex. All right, so we should begin with the Pisces, which is the fish, then straight to the amphibians, okay, then next to the reptiles, then the harveys, those are the birds, then to mammals. So the oldest here, according to this compilation that we have, should be the Pisces, that is the fish, IV. So the correct option is option D for IV. We've come to the end of this video lesson, but there are definitely more powerful contents to come. All you just need to do is to hit that like button, click on the subscribe button, and always tap on bell notification for you to get informed immediately we upload the next video lesson just for you.